here. Today we are going to be doing the flip-flop kit that I put out, and this is going to be the taped version, one that you can go back and watch whenever you need to. So I will pan down and we'll get sorted through the kit and make sure you know what to do with it. Okay, so in your kit you have a wire wreath frame. You have a kit that has your tubing in it, your pipe cleaners, and all of your ribbon. So I'll take the ribbon out. So you should have all of these ribbons here. And these two as well. And you will have a set of flip-flops and 3 colors of mesh. You also have 4 flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ribbon you should also have a couple of the zip tie adhesive mounts. Okay? So this ribbon, I'm just going to take my 7-inch cardboard, because I'm going to make 14-inch loops with it. Okay. So the way that we're going to do this wreath is we're going to be doing the curly. So when you do the curly method, it's best to do ribbons in like every other curl. So I expect that we are going to be using around 27, but just for purposes of making sure we have enough ribbon, we're going to say that we're going to do 28. Okay, so we're going to cut up our ribbon. And our ribbon, we have 5 ribbons. So we have the pink, the blue, the green, this blue, this is a smaller size, and then these 2. So these 4 have 4 yards, this has 5 yards, and this has 2. So we want to do about 27 or 28 bundles, and we're going to do a ribbon in every other bundle. So that means that we need 28 ribbons in total. Since we have 5 ribbons, we are going to cut approximately 5 of each one. So that means you're going to have a lot of ribbon left over. And the reason is in case you want to do a different method with this kit. So we're just going to take my 7-inch cardboard, and I'm just going to wrap it around here 7 times, because I do want to have more of the flip-flop than any other. Let's see. Yep, okay. So cut this off. See, and you're going to have some left, and I expect that. Okay, so see, I can slide my scissors in and cut them all at one time. Then I'm going to fold them over and cut at an angle just to get that nice detailed look. Same thing on the other side. There we go. Alright, so we did 7 of this one. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to cut 4 of each of the rest of these. Okay? Okay. There we go. Same thing, we're going to make a little dovetail. Okay, so we have that one. So we have quite a bit left of this one. Okay, so let's do 4 of this one. All right, we have 4 of this one. There we go. Okay. So we get our dovetails. Put that there. Let's do 4 of this one. So you can see we're bringing all the colors of this flip-flop in. Okay. All right. We need 4 of this one. Okay, there we go. Okay, the last one. Okay, so now we have all of our ribbons cut at 14 inches. And we have our ends dovetailed. There we go. So we are ready to cut our mesh. So we can set this ribbon aside. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this ribbon before I cut my mesh, and I'm going to go ahead and start running my ribbons together. Okay? So, I'll just take like that. So I'm just going to kind of mix them up. So I'll just keep going, just mixing them up. Doesn't really matter how you do this part. It will work out fine. Okay, so we have, I cut one extra. So we have all of our ribbon ready, okay? Let me throw this out. So since we're planning on doing 28, that means that we need 14 ribbon sets. Okay, we do need this extra one. Let's do this one. Okay. So I always check and make sure before I start cutting up, just because it makes it a little bit easier. And I'll stick this one on the bottom. Okay. So now we're ready to start on our mesh. So I'll move this out of the way. And I will open up my mesh. So I picked these colors specifically because they work really well with what's on our flip-flop. Okay, so I have my 3 colors unrolled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll them out together. Okay, just like this. And this is where having a shorter table comes in handy. So I can roll them off my table, just like that, and then I can just keep rolling them as I go, and it keeps them from rolling backwards. It works very well for me. I find that I don't really need anything other than that. Okay, so I like to cut and get a clean edge. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put something heavy on my mesh, and I'm going to cut it every 10 inches. So here, here, and here. Okay, so I'm going to do this 28 times, and I'm not going to make you watch me do it 28 times, but I'm going to go ahead and cut 28 of these, and then when I come back, we will start putting them together in bundles. So what I do is I put all 3 colors together and I make a bundle. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have all of my bundles ready. And so what I'm going to do is separate them. I'm going to take my pipe cleaners. Now, I only like to use half because I just like to save the other half. Okay, so I will take what I need and I will cut them in half. Okay. It just helps if you get all of this done before you start putting it together. It really does go faster if you do it. If you just do a tiny bit of prep work before you do your wreaths, it really is a lot faster. Okay, so I have all my pipe cleaners ready, and so I can save this to use on another project. Okay. Now what I like to do when I'm doing these is I like to go ahead and do my ones with the ribbons so that I can just get those out of the way and I can make sure I have all of my ribbon bundles done. So I will separate my 3 colors. And you just want to roll them the way that they already want to roll. And you don't need to do them real tight. So if you do them real tight, you can end up with ones that look a little bit like a sausage, with the little end sticking out. Okay, so once you get your 3 rolled, I just put them together. I will take my ribbon bundle and find the center. I'm going to pinch the center, put it on my bundle. Okay. I'm going to pull my pipe cleaner around the back, and I like to keep my pipe cleaners even. It really helps if you're going to use half. So I like to hold the whole bundle in my hand like this. It makes it easier to get this nice and tight. So that's what your bundles are going to look like. Okay? So let's do another one with ribbon. And I also like to vary what's on top. So the way I do it, just so I remember, is I'll take the color that I used last and I'll put that one on the bottom. That way I remember which one I was on. So I have that one. Now if you have trouble holding it, you can use your Bow Dabra or you can use a chip clip. Okay. Take another ribbon set, find the center, take my pipe cleaner, go around just like this. And then I'm going to meet it in the center, pull these all up together, and then tie it nice and tight. Just like that. Okay? Alright, let's do it one more time. This time we'll have this light pink on top. So we ended up with the green, so we'll do the green on the bottom. Then the hot pink. And then the light pink. Okay, there we go. Grab another ribbon set. Find the center. Pinch it. Put it down and use one of our pipe cleaners. Alright. And we just tighten it on the bottom. So see, you want to have a pretty good amount that's even. Okay, so now let me show you what we're going to do with this lovely stuff. So this is the Deco tubing, and what I like to do is just cut it in 3 equal lengths. So I will just, doesn't have to be perfect, you just want it to be pretty close. Okay, so I'll just cut and cut there. I cut 4. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to make a circle and then just pinch it in the center. Okay, same thing, circle, pinch it in the center. Okay, so we're making 2 little loops here. So I will hold this in my hand I will grab another set. Okay. There we go. Just roll it up. There we go. All right. So I'll just grab my pipe cleaner, go around this little bundle, and then just tighten it. See, and there you have a couple loops. Now you can do 2 of these or you can do 3 of these. It really is up to you. I'm going to do 2. So we'll do it again. Just make a little tiny bow like this. And do another one. Then we're going to make another bundle. Okay. Alright, there we go. So now I will just tie this around the whole bundle. You do want to make sure that your ends are long enough so it's not going to come out. Meet that pipe cleaner in the center. Pull this whole bundle up and tie it off. Just like that. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to go and make the rest of the ribbon ones, but I want to show you just a plain one. That way you'll have plenty of examples. So you just roll up your mesh. Like that. There we go. Just grab your pipe cleaner, put it around the center, hold it up just like you do with the others, and tie it off. So that's what a plain bundle is going to look like. So we're going to have kind of a variety. We have a couple with our little deco tubing, and we're going to have half with ribbon. So I'm going to go and do the rest of these, and then when I come back, we'll put it together. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I've gotten the bundles made. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start putting them on. So what I like to do is I just like to alternate between the ribbon and the ones that don't have ribbon. So I'll just put them in between layer 2 and 3, just like this. Just tie it on and then push it down like that. And then I'll take one that doesn't have ribbon and I'll put right next to it. Now in the first section I expect to use 5 to 6. And in the rest of the sections I'll put 4, and then at the end I should have 1 or 2 left over, and I will just fill in wherever I see I need it. That way you don't end up with too many in the end, because if you do, then it makes it really hard to spread out your ribbons, and it makes it really hard to add anything else. Okay, so we have 1 ribbon, 1 without. Okay, and remember, we have the two that have the little tubing in it, so we will use that as well. Okay, so there's 4 in this section. So we'll put one more with ribbon. Or we could put, let's put one with the tubing in it. There we go. Alright, so that's the way it looks when we put the first section on. And don't worry if you see little spaces or anything in there, because as we load it on, it's going to get fuller and fuller. So you just want to go on to the next section. And we're going to start doing 4 in each section. Whoop. That pipe cleaner broke. Okay. So one with, one without. I'm not really paying attention to what colors go next to each other, because it will all work out. You don't really need to go to that detailed level. I'm really not paying attention what ribbons go next to each other either, because it's okay if they do. Okay. So we have 4 in this section. And I am tucking these in as I go. You see how much nicer it looks in the back when you have the pipe cleaners that are just a half. Okay, so I'll move on to the next section. And you'll see gaps, but you're going to fill that up at the end. And that way you don't use too many. And you only put it in places that it needs it. Okay. Hi, Bella. Okay. So I just keep loading them on, working my way around. See, and as you load these on, even from the back, it will look like there's not enough, but from the front, it's going to look very different. So don't worry too much about how it looks from the back right now. If you get a pipe cleaner that's too tight, you can just do one of the bars. And don't worry if they're moving around, because as you pack them on there, they will stop moving. They do that when you're first putting it on because you don't have very many in there yet. So once you get to this part, it does not take very long. The longest part is making the bundles. Once you have the bundles made, it goes pretty quick after that. Okay. So I just keep doing ribbon, no ribbon. And you are mostly going to be working from the back. And that is okay because you can straighten out anything from the front when you're done. Not that you'll really have much to do except spread out your ribbons. Okay, so I'm going to put in, well, actually I'm going to save that. I'm going to save the one with the Deco tubing for one of our extras. There we go. So this is our last section. I love these kinds of wreaths. They're very full, pretty, and you can make them so full of color. Okay, so we're almost done, and then we will just figure out where we need to put our extras. And then we can work on our flip-flop. Okay. So we have 3 extras, which is what I expect. Put that last one in. I can already tell I'm probably going to need one right there. Maybe right here. So what you do, seeing if you look, really it doesn't even look like we need anything, but you want to look for any areas where you can kind of see through. So I was right, we definitely need one here. So let's put our Deco tubing here. Okay. All right, then we have 2 more. Let's see. That looks good. Maybe right here. Okay. So we're going to put one right here. And you do want to try to get your pipe cleaners and your bundle centered, because it helps when you're doing your ribbons, because your ribbons can get all off otherwise. Okay. All right. See if we see any more spots. No. I think that's good. So 27. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work on our ribbons. So what you want to do is take your ribbons and you just want to spread them out between the two rows. It's not going to be exactly like doing it with a ruffle wreath or something like that, because it does pull against these other bundles. But doing it every other one really does help, because then you have enough room to kind of move them around. Otherwise, it's really kind of impossible. You just end up with ribbons that are just kind of standing up with the bundle. I mean, it's very hard to see them. So, there we go. Okay. And I'm going to show you a little something you can do to help keep these apart once you get them spread out. Okay, there we go. Looks like we're in pretty good shape. Okay. All right. So we've gotten that part done. So you see how you can see the ribbons a lot better since we left a space between them? Okay, so you have your little flip-flops. And there's a couple ways you can do this. So your kits came with these little adhesive ties. Now this is plastic coated metal. So when you're using something like this, it's best when you put these on to use something like Gorilla Glue or E6000 to put this down, because if you try hot glue, it's probably going to come off. However, if you have a bead smith like I do, you can take your bead smith and you can make a hole in the bottom. It's tough, but you can do it. Okay, and it just makes a tiny little hole. Okay, just like that. And then what I do is I use my 20 gauge silver wire, because it's very hard to see. I just cut, well, let's see, about 18 inches or so. So I just want to have enough to get down to the frame. Okay. And so what I'll do is I'll take this wire and I will run it through the hole I made. Like this. And then I like to twist it off just so it's not going to move and it's not going to come off. Okay, and then right through here. Okay. Now on the top you have a couple of choices. You could use the little string that comes on it, or you can just use some wire. That's what I'm going to do. You can leave the string on or you can cut it off. It's really up to you. So I do the same thing. I just run it through there. You want to have enough to get it back to the frame. So now I just twist it off. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to put it on our frame. Okay. Let me get my hot glue gun going. Alright, so figure out where it's going. Then you just take these wires. And what I do is I just move my little bundles aside and I find the frame. I just go right down to the frame. You can see here from the back. I just tie it on. You do want to wrap it around just to keep it on there tight. Now you don't want to make it too tight. You just want to, and you don't want to totally crush your ribbons. So you can just kind of move it around as you need to. But the bundles make it pretty easy to move aside. And go to the frame, tie it off, and then move them back. Okay? There we go. So the same thing at the bottom. And just go right to the frame. Pull it down, tie it off. There we go. Same thing here. Alright, so once you have it tied in, of course you want to do your shake test to make sure it's not going to come off. Okay. Now, I just make sure that my ribbons are not being hidden or smashed. Alright, now I'm going to show you what the flowers were for. So you got 4 flowers, and what I'm going to do is push the leaves up and clip it off like that. And then I'm just going to bend it so that the leaves don't come back off. So push those leaves up, clip it, bend it. Okay. There we go. Now, what you're going to do with this is you're going to find a place where you want the ribbons to show pretty well. You're going to put a little glue in here and you're going to stick it right down inside there. You see how great that works? It holds your ribbons out. It gives just a little bit of interest. It just works really well. So you just want to find 4 places. So we can do one up here by our flip-flops. This one's good. And right here's good. There we go. And once you get them glued down, they're not going to come loose, so it'll work great. You see how cute that is? Now what I advise is for the back, it's a really good idea just to take a little Dollar Tree or Big Lots little placemat, and you can just put it right over here, and it keeps all of your bundles from spilling out the back, and it just makes the back look nice and neat. Alright, that's it. I did want to show you that you can, there are so many things that you can do to keep these ribbons up. So if you're using it for a different season, you could take like something like this, like ornament balls, and you can glue them down in there. Those work great as well. So you know, at like 4th of July, you could put little stars in there. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you make this, make sure to come over and share it either on the PT&L Craft Dreamers or send me a picture of it. I just love to see how yours came out. And thanks for watching, and I will be back soon. I did have another kit that I released, or I'm releasing today, so that'll be fun. We're going to do that one on June 13th. Okay, I will see y'all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.